Hey everyone, Mano back here, and today we're going to be showing you the fastest ways to farm the Grasp of Avarice Dungeon. DMG has confirmed on Twitter that on December 16th or 17th a patch will go live that will make the dungeon farmable. Maybe you're looking for a god tier Eyasluna, a Matador 64 to bully people with, a 1,000-yard stare to relive your D1 memories, or you just want the Hero of Ages sword or any of the armor. We're going to be showing you the fastest ways to get these weapons in your inventory, or how to get the special Artifice Armor, or just the normal dungeon loot so you can transmog your armor to your heart's content. I'm going to be showing a couple of different options on ways that you can kill the bosses, so if you don't have the top tier loot, you can still farm the boss really easily. But really quickly, if you like something inside of this video, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications. If you have a question, leave a comment down below. I try to get to all my comments as much as I possibly can, but the easiest way to reach me is over at twitch.tv/manodestra. We've helped tons of Guardians with Grandmasters, raids, exotic quests, and dungeons, and you know we're going to be farming this dungeon like crazy. So here's your open invitation. If you want to farm some loot, have some questions, or just want to come hang with a great community, come on over. All right, enough yakking. Let's do this, shall we? First things first, the strategies that we are using are for the average Guardian. If you know how to 3-hammer bonk the boss into submission, why are you even watching this video? I don't want to downplay how cool it is. It was a really fun video to watch, but the truth is that the vast majority of the Destiny community cannot pull this off. And while it makes for a cool video, the truth is it probably took a couple of times to set this up, and that's time wasted that you could be farming gear and weapons. So let's table the Titan bonking technique. Cool? Cool. If you know how to do it, go ahead and use it. I'll explain it in another video, but for right now, we're going to be sticking to strategies that are consistent and easily achievable by the average Guardian. We averaged about 2 to 3 minutes for each encounter, so we're going to explain how we do that, plus what you should do when you want to farm this. I'd encourage you to get a fire team together, and while it is really nice to have a Titan, a Warlock, and a Hunter for specific things, it is not necessarily required, especially on the normal level. All right, this is a no-brainer for people who have farmed before, but for people who are new to it, you need to go up to the encounter that you want to farm and then don't complete it. You want to choose one character that you want to keep the checkpoint on, so that way you can continue to flip the checkpoint onto a different character, get your fire team in, rotate to the character that you actually want to complete it on, and go from there. For the context of this video, I am assuming that everyone watching knows how to do the Grasp of Avarice Dungeon, and if you don't, that is not a big deal. Look up in the card on the top right-hand side now, and you will have a guide on how to solo flawless it, plus explaining every single encounter in depth. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and use that video as a reference, and then come back to this one. Additionally, in this video, I'm not covering the secret chests, which can only be gotten once per week per character because you can't really farm those. But if you do want to know where those are, I have a video for that as well in the top right corner right now. All right, let's talk loot. There are 3 encounters where you can get chests that actually drop new loot that you can farm. The first encounter is the Ogre, the second encounter is the Fallen Shield, and the last encounter is Avarok, the Fallen Captain. Now you can get armor at every single encounter. Just a quick note, if you complete it on Master, you'll get a set of Artifice Armor, which will give you an extra slot that you can put other mods on. It's really the only advantage of doing the Master version is getting the enhanced armor. All right, so here's the loot table. At the Ogre, you can get boots, you can get class items, and you can get the Matador 64. On the Fallen Shield encounter, you can get the Hero of Ages sword, as well as arms and chest pieces. Finally, the last encounter, you can get every weapon and piece of armor in the dungeon. There was a loot table before that actually showed that Eyasluna and a 1,000-yard stare was the only stuff that you can get from the last encounter, but that is not true. I have gotten Matadors and Hero of Ages swords here as well. Now, I'm making this video before the patch comes out, so the patch could change things. And if it does, feel free to leave a comment down below with the gear that you get from each encounter, just to make sure that the community is 100% in the know. Now, if all you want to farm is the Matador 64, just go after the Ogre. The fastest way to get the Ogre down in one phase of damage is to use a well, a bubble, and a tether. If you want to use someone on stasis, you certainly can. You can get the buff from Focusing Lens, but do note that there have been a couple of changes. You don't get the full effects of Focusing Lens like you did before the patch. If you are a person on the well, you will get the buff, but the rest of your fire team who stands in the Well of Radiance will not get the buff for Focusing Lens. However, Revenant is very good for clearing ads, so if your team wants to use it, especially on normal mode, it's not a big deal, but Tether is technically a little bit better. Alright, so DPS, we found this corner for the Ogre to be the best spot to be. Put the well right by this box here with a bubble back behind for maximum DPS, and the only weapons that can one-phase the Ogre are the Sleeper Simulant and the Triple Tap Reed's Regret. We did a ton of testing on this, as well as Asdacross as well, and we found this to be the DPS machine for the 30th anniversary patch. I found that Sleeper to be the easiest to use, but if you are a little bit higher skilled and you have it, a Triple Tap Reed's Regret with Firing Line will get some insane damage. Now, the key to getting the Ogre down is to make sure that you hit the critical hit spot. It's basically right where the void attack comes from. If you hit just a little bit to the left or the right, you will get some lower damage numbers like you just saw on screen right there. But basically aim where the red spot is and you should be good to go. I do find that Sleeper Simulant is easier for use versus the Triple Tap Reed's Regret. I don't know if there's more flinch or something like that involved, but basically when I use Sleeper, he didn't flinch as much, but when I use Triple Tap Reed's Regret, he seemed to flinch and it was harder to hit the critical hit spot. So just take that into consideration as you're farming. While it's possible to use GJALLARHORN or something like Lament to do really good damage on the boss, it's very hard to get a one phase on the Ogre. Especially GJALLARHORN has the hidden horseshoes and hand grenades perk, which will allow rockets to explode before they actually reach their target. And even if you combine it with other legendary rocket launchers like Hothead or the Ascendancy, it's not going to be that really good for DPS. Now, Lament is an interesting choice for people who want to keep it safe, but again, it is not going to get you a one phase. We tested this multiple times, but because there's really no huge damage buff, you'll definitely be doing a two phase every single time. Now, there's no fast way to speed up the Fallen Shield encounter, and the truth is that the more you're experienced in doing it, the faster you will do it. So the truth is, focusing on farming the boss is going to be your fastest way to get any of the loot from this dungeon. So really all you need is a quick solid strategy for clearing the boss room every single time and a plan for your fire team. So here's the fastest way to farm the boss without the Titan bonk technique. We have a Titan with a Saint 14 helmet, we have a Tether, and we have a Well Warlock. Come back to this area here and start the encounter. Have the Warlock and the Bubble pop in these respective places and then tether the ground right here. At this point, you'll tether both the Shank and Grispax, which is the larger fallen enemy in the middle. Not only will they be blinded by the bubble, but they'll be tethered as well, and they will be helpless. They basically can be ripped apart to shreds. Have two people in your team focus on the Shank, and then when everyone's ready, focus on Grispax. As the Hunter, I went invisible really quickly and picked up all 10 of the burdens and put them on the crystal, and then the other team went to go find the Scorch Cannon. At this point, we had one person go to the left, one person go to the middle area, and one person go to the right. Basically, as soon as everyone is in their spots, we charge up the charge ports and we get all the engrams. We do this within about 45 seconds of the boss actually starting the encounter. At this point, everyone runs to the crystal as soon as possible. There's nothing really tricky about here. And the great part about this is that if everyone grabs their engrams from the sides, everyone will have supers numerous times. You can tether the enemies down below. You'll get all of your abilities and your super recharged. You can put a well on the middle. You can put a bubble in the middle. There's nothing to it. At this point, we're just basically waiting for everyone to get back into position again. Hit the engrams as quickly as they possibly can, get 10 more, and at that point, you're at DPS. It only took about a minute and 20 seconds to get this taken care of, and we weren't perfect on this run either. So this is what you're going to do. The tether is going to put the tether behind the boss up on the box where Wilhelm is. Put the bubble on the back side of the crystal with the well in the front. You can see that the tether is deployed. At this point, have someone who's assigned to get Cartesian coordinate to hit particle deconstruction, and then have a Titan put a barrier on the right-hand side. This will keep you from getting shot by the enemies from the right side, and then just proceed to melt the boss. We get him done in about 2 minutes from the start of the encounter. Takes very little time, very easy to do. Now, this is on normal mode. If you want to do it on master, it is achievable to do a one phase, but you have to do it very specifically. For the one phase, everyone has to have a triple tap firing line Reed's Regret. Since you have a very small window of time, you need to be using boss spec, not backup mag, which many people advocate for. If I had an infinite amount of time to do damage, I would definitely put on backup mag. But since you have a small window to do damage to Avarice, you need to make the most of your 30 seconds, and that means boss spec or adept big one spec. You can see here why it's so critical to put that barrier on the right-hand side, because any flinch will make it very difficult to hit your triple tap firing line shots, and having that is going to really help secure the damage. The other thing is that everyone has to be at the power level of 1360, or else you won't be doing the amount of damage that you need to do. In addition, you need to make sure that your weapons are as high as they can possibly go in the 1330 space. This was a testing video that we were doing to check DPS, and you can see that I'm at level and I'm getting 1.7 DPS every time. Holy Jesus missed a couple of shots, but Dark Flame, just because he took a break from the game for a little bit, is a little bit under level, so he's not able to match that. If you can get everyone together, it is totally achievable to do a one phase on Avarice. Okay, here's the TLDR. Tether Hunter, Saint 14 Bubble, Well of Radiance Warlock with Lunafaction boots. Blind the Shank and the guy in the middle. Collect as many engrams as you possibly can as quickly as possible. Bubble in the back, Well in the front, Tether behind. Sleepers are going to be your best friend. Very easy to get. Get a Cartesian coordinate with boss spec. If you're doing it on master mode, put on triple tap, Reed's Regret, and let her rip. At this point, go grab the character that has the checkpoint, give it to one of your friends or another member of your fire team, and rinse and repeat. The truth is that you can use GJALLARHORN and Lament, but you will not be able to one phase the boss, and you will not be able to farm it as effectively. It'll probably take 2 to 3 times the amount of time to get it done, and if you're using these techniques, you can get runs in every 3 minutes or so between moving the checkpoint over, grabbing the flag, and getting set up. All right, guys, that's everything that you need to know. These are the best strategies to easily one phase the boss on master and normal mode. I hope it helps. If you need more help in getting this dungeon done, I'm going to be farming this with my community over on twitch.tv/MadOdestra. As always, if you like something inside the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. It helps me to focus my videos for you folks. So if you have any questions or anything else like that, I can address that in the videos. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Good hunting, and I will see you next time in the universe of Destiny.